Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is a collective energy reading. I guess I'll name it like a healing energy reading for those of you who are feeling kind of stuck or feeling kind of lost. I just feel like these past couple of days the energy has shifted in a major way, and if you are sensitive to energy, I'm sure you could feel it. Today is 222, and I've been seeing 222 a lot in the past couple of months. Well, actually the past year, since my spiritual awakening, I've been seeing this synchronicity a whole lot, and I think that today does have some significance, so I just wanted to do this reading on this day. Now, the other night, the Virgo full moon was, when was it? I think it was 2 nights ago. And with that full moon, that brought a very powerful shift that I wasn't expecting at all. Usually when there's a full moon, of course, I can feel it very heavily because I am a Pisces moon, and we feel that full moon, or we feel the moon cycles heavily in general. So if you're a Pisces moon, or even a Cancer or Scorpio moon, or you have your moon in your 12th house, I'm sure you understand exactly what I'm talking about. But this full moon was far different than any of the ones that I have experienced already, or the ones that are memorable to me, at least, because this full moon actually made me feel like I needed to be productive. Like, usually full moons kind of make me feel like I need to lay down and relax, and I need to like calm my body and calm my nervous system. But this full moon just made me feel like I wanted to just jump up and get my life together. So like I said, it's just a major type of shift that I am feeling, and I'm thinking that a lot of you have felt it as well. In the tarot, the twos represent decisions and crossroads, and the High Priestess is also the number 2 in the tarot. So I'm thinking that a lot of you are on a spiritual journey, and it's like now you're at a crossroads and you are being asked whether or not you want to stick with your old life, or if you want to go towards the life that you know is better for you, despite the fact that it is uncomfortable. I think a lot of people have been living in their comfort zone for far too long, and I feel like with the energy that the Virgo full moon brought, it's really pushing people out of their comfort zones. And usually when that happens, you know, something drastic happens and it pushes people out of their comfort zone. Something physically happens, like you lose your job, or you get kicked out of your house, or something along those lines. But with this full moon, it's a bit different, because I feel like it was some type of internal shift. Like, I don't think that anything external went on that forced people out or forced people onto a new path. It just feels like internally you're just going to have the desire to get up and go. So it's like your higher self is nudging you towards the life that you're supposed to be creating for yourself. So if you've been slacking, or you've been trying to use escapist tactics in order to get away from your responsibilities, or in order to not have to make any moves, I feel like that's not going to be working for you anymore. And I definitely noticed that with myself. Like, things that I used to do to escape, they don't work anymore, and now I have no choice but to focus on my path and to focus on my mission and what I'm supposed to be doing. So let's go on to the cards. The first set of cards are the Knight of Pentacles and also the Queen of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles talks about moving towards something that you want to build in a very stable way. It's like building something slowly but surely and taking baby steps. And then with the Queen of Pentacles being in the reverse, I feel like a lot of you just see a very large gap between who you want to be and who you currently are. And I feel like that is discouraging to a lot of you. And I think that basically these cards are telling you that baby steps, one step at a time, is how you get to where you need to be. You know, sometimes when you realize that you want to change and you want to grow and become a better version of yourself, it's like you want it to happen overnight, or you feel like you're behind and you feel like you want to rush, and it can get very frustrating. And that's why you have to just keep in mind that habits are not built overnight, because you didn't build your bad habits overnight, so you can't erase them and create your good habits overnight. You see what I'm saying? So instead of looking at there being a huge gap between where you are and where you want to be, look at it as this is a journey. Like, this is a step-by-step journey. It's not about where you are going to reach. It's more so about the journey. Of course, you want to get to the finish line, but remember that the race, or the process of getting there, is just as important. And just take baby steps and one step at a time. And every time you do even make a slight change in your life, you're still walking towards becoming the better version of yourself, even if it's the tiniest change that you can make. So the Three of Wands is also here along with the Lovers card. I feel like with the Three of Wands, a lot of you are definitely looking towards the future and you are wanting to really get there. I just feel this sense of impatience from a lot of you. It's like you just want to snap your fingers and become, you know, that successful person that you see in your mind, but it doesn't necessarily work like that. And it doesn't work like that for a reason, because with the Lovers card being here in the reverse, that's talking about divine timing. And you have to understand that everything is happening exactly the way it's supposed to, at the pace that it's supposed to happen at. Because if you think about it, a lot of the things that we want in life, we're not prepared for them. And if they were to come to us quickly, we would find a way to ruin them or sabotage them in some way. And that's why a lot of things, like I said, will only come to you with divine timing when you are ready. So your job is to get ready and to prep yourself and to stop worrying about the finish line or stop worrying about the outcome or how long it's taking. Your job is to keep on taking those steps forward and to stay positive and optimistic while your future or your fortune is actually going to be delivered to you. Because a lot of you are familiar with the law of attraction at this point. You're familiar with manifestation, and you are familiar with the notion that you should be attracting things into your life instead of chasing them. So all you have to do is get in alignment, make sure that you are taking the steps that you're supposed to take to get to where you want to be, and allow the universe to do the rest. Also, don't forget that Earth is pretty much like a school, or you can see it as a school, and there are things that we're supposed to learn on our journey that helps us to grow and expand. And if you were to skip over all of those things and you get to the destination, then it's like, what's the point? Because you didn't learn anything along the way. So remember that the journey, each step is important, because each step you are learning something important. Even if certain things feel like a waste of time to you or you regret them, they play an important role, or they are significant when it comes to your life path. Like, for example, the relationships that you have been in, you may think back on them and think, oh, I just wasted my time, I wish I would have never met this person. But if you look at it from a higher perspective, all of the things that you learn from that person are pushing you in the direction of where you need to be, and you would not be where you are or who you are without that experience. So that experience was significant. You see what I'm saying? So just remember that it's all about the journey as well, and to stop focusing so much about the outcome or worrying about the outcome. For those of you who have struggled with love relationships, I do think that that cycle is closing out. A lot of people are no longer needing to experience struggle love, you know, in order to learn lessons. I feel like a lot of people have seen exactly what they need to see and experienced exactly what they need to experience in terms of that difficult, low vibrational love. It's like a lot of people are starting to wake up. You're starting to see a lot more people on social media talking about toxic relationships and what makes a healthy relationship. So people are definitely starting to wake up. A lot of people are healing, changing their attachment styles, and really moving towards things that are healthy, or just staying single if things are not healthy. So I do feel a very positive shift for those of you who have been struggling with love. I think that that struggle is finally over. So all you need to do now is, like I said, get yourself in alignment and prepare yourself. And the person that you're supposed to be with, and your life partner, is going to be attracted into your life. You won't even have to go looking. But like I said, first you have to be prepared. So for example, if you know that you need to work on your communication skills, go ahead and do that, you know, because then when that person is attracted into your life, you won't sabotage your life partnership or your divine partner because you don't know how to communicate well. You see what I'm saying? So everything is going to be delivered to you in divine order with divine timing. So the King of Swords is here in the reverse, and the Queen of Cups. I'm thinking that your energy is one or the other. So for example, if you have Queen of Cups in reverse energy, that's an energy of codependency. That's an energy of looking for love outside of yourself constantly, needing to be validated by someone, needing to feel like you're important only when you're giving all of you away to someone. See what I'm saying? And getting very little in return. And I think that that is coming to a close, that those cycles of codependency and narcissism are starting to come to a close. You see online, people are starting to become more and more knowledgeable, and the first step towards healing and changing is self-awareness. So once people become aware of their subconscious patterns and they're no longer subconscious, then they can make the decision to consciously change them, and that's exactly what's happening. So I think a few of you, or some of you, are the Queen of Cups energy. Some of you could also be the King of Swords energy, where you're a bit closed off and you think only with your mind and your heart is closed off. I feel like those cycles for those people are ending as well. Like I said, this Queen of Cups and King of Swords represents a relationship pattern that has been going on for far far too long, for generations, with one person being very codependent and giving their all, and then the other person being very closed off and taking a lot but giving very little. Both are very unhealthy to take part in, and you can imagine what type of damage that leaves on a child that these two types of energies produce. So you see, so that has been a generational pattern. It's been a generational pattern in a lot of our own families, and that's why a lot of us are being called to heal these patterns once and for all. So very, very exciting times. So when you see like spiritual Twitter saying, oh, you know, the shift is happening, it definitely is happening. They're not just saying that just to say it. And you can see, it's kind of like the proof is in the pudding. More and more people are just starting to kind of take those blindfolds off and to see exactly what is going on and to see exactly what it is in life that has been hurting them and making the decision to cut those things out of their lives. A lot of people are healing from addictions, whether it be drugs or even being addicted to unhealthy relationships as a way to escape from the pain. I'm feeling a sense of emptiness coming from that Lover's card. So a lot of people have been feeling empty their whole entire lives, kind of just feeling numb and empty on the inside because of their lack of getting emotionally nurtured. And I feel like that is a generational thing. When it comes to millennials, the generation before us, our parents, they struggled with emotions, feelings, and they struggle with expressing them, and they struggle with giving them, is what I'm getting. And so that's why a lot of us have reincarnated into these families, and we are basically breaking that generational curse once and for all. So a lot of people are, like I said, healing their relationship patterns, but also a lot of people are healing that empty feeling, that empty space within. It's like they're filling their void by growing and becoming a new version of themselves. So it's like rebirthing yourself to fill in that empty space. So it's a very beautiful energy here. Very beautiful energy. I'm going to pull one more. I feel like karma is definitely about to come around for a lot of people. So if someone has done you wrong and you still are holding on to it, I feel like that energy is going to start to fall away from you very soon. And I feel like it's going to happen in a way that you're going to be surprised by the way that it falls away, because you're not going to expect it. A lot of people don't understand that miracles collapse time. So you could think that it's going to take 10 years to heal you from something, and then the universe or God or source, whatever you believe in, could step in and heal you overnight. And that genuinely does happen. So I feel like that's going to be happening for a lot of you. I do see just a lot of life partnerships, only because people have been doing so much of the healing work. So like their divine partners finally coming in and them getting that love that they have been putting out and the love that they have been deserving. But first you have to know that you deserve it. And the best way to prove to yourself and to the universe that you know you are worthy is by loving yourself and taking care of yourself first and foremost. I also see that a lot of people are going to start to manifest financial abundance. Because again, it's like this energy of you or the people who are watching this video just really giving a lot. Like just it's like in your nature to just be very giving. And it could be because, you know, you were raised in an environment where you had to be very giving. It's like those environments where, you know, your parents are just very dysfunctional or they're just very neglectful, and it's your job basically to please them in order for you to get your emotional needs met, which is obviously horrible. But like I said, that generation of parents, they were very lost and they did not know any better. So a lot of us have grown up as people pleasers for that reason, and a lot of us are breaking those patterns, but a lot of us are actually using that people pleasing pattern in a way that can be beneficial for our careers. So mental health is starting to become a very lucrative field, you know, being a guide, being a teacher, and things of that sort, where it's like in your nature to be a people pleaser. That can actually be very beneficial to you, to kind of use that gift or something that you thought was a curse and kind of turn it into a gift, you see. So because I have like a people pleasing nature to me, I have to set very healthy, strong boundaries when it comes to my personal relationships. But the way I can use it to my advantage is that I get a lot of joy in creating YouTube videos and helping other people. You know, it's like I can get that need to help people fed by giving back to my YouTube subscribers instead of getting into unhealthy relationships and overextending myself. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of you are needing to take your gift of compassion needing to take your gift of sensitivity and use it in order to help people, and also in order to help yourself when it comes to finances. I also think that a lot of you who are creative, this is definitely your time to shine, and the only thing that is holding you back is your lack of faith, is what I'm seeing. That's the only thing that's holding you back, is your lack of faith. And once you actually take these leaps of faith, like once you step out of your comfort zone, you are actually going to start just manifesting a lot of new opportunities that are just going to come out of nowhere. So it's going to happen like in a way that you least expected. A lot of people, what gets them caught up is them wanting to plan out step by step how things are going to go. And that just, it's not very logical or feasible sometimes. Like, you're supposed to have a business plan, you're supposed to have a plan about what you're doing every day, but you have to detach yourself from the outcome because you honestly don't know how it's going to happen. You see, like, you could say, okay, I'm going to be a rapper and I want to get signed, and you think you're going to get signed to one label, and then you end up meeting someone like the head of another label and they offer you a deal, and then that opens doors. You see what I'm saying? So it's like prepping yourself for it, understanding exactly where you want to be, but then being very open and being very trusting that the universe is going to bring the exact people and situations into your life. Some of you are really needing to connect with people. I think a lot of you have this fear of intimacy or this fear of closeness, which is very common and understandable, especially if you never had genuine love before from your parents or from your family, and if you've been in very unhealthy relationships. I do sense this hesitation or this fear of intimacy, and the only way to actually heal that is to build healthy relationships. So it's going to be scary and very uncomfortable, but you now have the knowledge that it takes in order to make this happen. You may not even realize or understand how much you have grown and how much you are aware now, and you may be very afraid to make new partnerships or new connections. You may be in hermit mode right now and just spending time alone, which is fine, but at the end of the day, spending time away and just trying to avoid people so that you can avoid your triggers, yes, it does feel good, or it makes you feel kind of comforted because you don't have to worry about being triggered, but then it's like you kind of stop living. Like, you're alive, but you're not living. Yes, you're not triggered, but you're also not feeling that sense of connection and that sense of love that you only get when you are connected to another human being. So keep that in mind. You have enough knowledge now. You're not going to get bamboozled again. You're not going to get fooled again. You see the red flags. You understand exactly what you need to look out for, and you understand the importance of taking it slow and setting boundaries. So it's safe for you to connect with people, and it is safe for you to love. And you have to understand that, and you have to know that, because like I said, if you just spend your life hiding away because you don't want to be triggered or you don't want to meet another narcissist, you're going to miss out on a very beautiful part of life, especially if you are someone who's very sensitive. That means that you feel pain very heavily, but you also feel joy very heavily as well. So you don't want to miss out on feeling the joy just because you are afraid of feeling the pain. So I see a spiritual victory for a lot of you here. A lot of you have already been very successful. A lot of you have ancestors, spirit guides, angels over on the other side that are cheering you on because you have completed a very, very difficult cycle, and you have upgraded, or you have leveled up on a spiritual level. So you have been successful even when you don't know it. Even when it feels like everything is falling apart and life is crumbling around you, you're still standing firm, and you still have that divine backing. You still have the universe that has your back. You can still pray and call on your higher self to help you through this. But overall, I feel like you're doing just fine, because the Six of Wands is coming here with the Devil in reverse. So that means that you are breaking away from those old toxic habits or self-beliefs, and it's like you don't see it, but it's happening. You don't understand how much you have grown because all you feel is like the pain right now, but you're going to start to see, it's going to start to unfold itself of why everything happened the way it was supposed to, and you're going to see how different you are as a person. Just think back to 1 year ago, the way that you handled certain situations. You would never handle them like that now. So you have to give yourself credit for the amount of growth that you have undergone. So I think that that is it. I hope that these messages were helpful to you. I'm going to start filming for my zodiac sign readings probably tomorrow or the day after. So thank you guys so much for watching, and best of luck to you. Bye.